You get the open air with the Jeep, just cruising down the road. It's gonna be awesome. Nice.
First time I was in Maine,
Yeah?
and I first time I hit my lap. I like it, enjoy it. I love the steed now, so.
Very cool. Very cool. Get to hit the trail, be outdoors.
Yeah.
Cool. How do you like your new shirt?
Good.
Looks good. That's okay. You got it for next time. You guys excited?
Oh yeah.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah, we're doing good. Should be fun today.
Cool. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. This is your first time out on the trail with us?
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. And we've got a dog here. What's the dog's name? Gidget. Very cool. We love dogs. Right on. Cool. Thanks so much for coming out with us.
Have a great time.
Right on. Awesome.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
Okay, we're in the Jeep, we do this. Go woohoo!
Obviously, we're out in the Strike Ravine area. Traditionally, this area is referred to as Pole Canyon, this whole kind of area that we're in right now. And obviously, this was a very, very heavily mined area. And all of the mines you see out here were all uranium mines. And so that's what this is here. This is one of the big deposits. Uranium is about 300 feet below where we are right now. So all these shafts angle way in and get down to what's called the Morrison Foundation, and that's the geologic layer that uranium is in. And what's kind of interesting in terms of the uranium is people think of uranium as being a hard metal, but it actually is soluble by water. And so rather than being formed, through volcanoes or coming up, from the ground like that, what happened is as ground level or groundwater seeped up to a real high level, it brought that dissolved uranium up with it. And a lot of the uranium clung onto organic materials like petrified wood or even petrified bone, things like that. And so you don't find like a uranium nugget like you would like a gold nugget or something like that. But rather you need a lot of rock to be able to get out the ore out of it. They say typically it took about 2 tons to produce about 2 pounds of uranium. And they had to break it down and get out the little itty bitty bits at a time. So it was quite a major labor-intensive process to be able to get this uranium out. But all of these roads in this entire area were all originally made by prospectors. Back in the 1950s, not too long after the Manhattan Project and the beginning of the arms race with the Soviet Union, President Eisenhower sent out for lack of a better term, a bounty, and said, I will give, I think it was $100,000 to the first person that finds a domestic, meaning in the United States, area for large-scale uranium exploration. And so geologists knew that this area should have some. Prior to World War II, they found a little bit of plutonium in this area, a little bit of radium. Radium was very much used in the late early 1900s for medicine, and they knew that those same radioactive materials would generally be in the same area. And so there was one man, a geologist named Charlie Steen, who was out here with his family, and he was prospecting around here, and ended up finding a huge strike of uranium, some of the purest uranium anywhere in the world. Prior to that time, almost all the uranium that was being used in the United States nuclear weapons program was coming out of Africa. And very, very, very little was coming out of the United States. And so there's a big mine down about, we are probably about 30 miles south of here, called the Mavita Mine. And I believe they took somewhere in the range of $150 million worth of uranium out of that mine in the 50s and 60s. So just like any, gold rush or boom town, people came to Moab and set up places all over town. And so these are just some of the other little spots that were mined, getting down to that correct layer, finding that uranium. They'd bring it into town. Up there on the north end of town, you have the tailings pile. What that is, that was all the leftover dirt after they pulled the uranium out of it. And they're currently in the process of cleaning that up and moving that dirt about 30 miles. To give you an idea of that project, you guys, if you've seen it, has been going on for about 10 years. They estimate it has another 15 years before they move all of that dirt. That gives you an idea of how much prospecting was going out here. But they say in the late 60s and early 70s, there were more millionaires per capita in Moab than anywhere else in the world.
that exciting?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Good job, girls.
Airborne, 173rd Airborne, went in 66, 67, 68 Vietnam, wounded in action, Purple Heart, and signed up for 3 years and made it 2.5. So, I mean, it was volunteered to go. We didn't wait for the draft, and doing our duty.
My name is Paul Dennis. I was in the Navy from 67 through 69. Did 2 combat tours, 68 and 69. One on the USS Yorktown and one on the Constellation. 7 months each time.
My name is Monty Larson. I was in the Navy, and I served a year in Vietnam on foot boats, above the Mekong Delta in that area. And that was 67, 68, left right after Tet, the Tet offensive. So I'm very honored to be here today.
I was in Vietnam from 1965 to 1967. I served my primary, I'm in the Navy, and my primary vehicle, if you want to call it, was a very small ship called the USS Camp, DER 251, built in 1941. And what we did is we were part of market time operations, and we sailed the coast from Da Nang all around the peninsula to Antoine on the other side, and we interdicted Vietnamese frigates that we thought and we did discover they were carrying thousands of pounds or tons of munitions to the south.
Well, I'm Hank Blair. I served in Vietnam in 1967 and 68. I was there for the 1968 Tet Offensive, which was a really bad time. I served in the DMZ area. I was in the Army, attached to the Marine Corps up there. And they had us up there because of our 175 guns to counteract the North Vietnamese guns that were bigger than the Marines at the time.
And I was in the United States Air Force. I was a hydraulic specialist on C-5, stationed at Travis Air Force Base. Served in the first Desert Storm on a lot of Middle East time, and the things I got to do and see were phenomenal. You just can't replace the experience and the support that I received from my wife when I was overseas, and what military spouses go through that a lot of people don't understand when you are gone, and what they do for you at home is it's great, and it's always an enjoyable experience to be hanging out with Rich Klein that's hosting the event, and the things we get to do for our vets. I think it's just fantastic, and I'll do it from here on out every year.
It's Carlton Durkee. I served in the United States Navy from 82 to 86. I was a gas turbine systems technician electrician. Humble service, but I'm very proud to serve, and I love being in the service of the vets, so I'm very proud to be here today. Thank you.
Second year. You guys signed the waiver, right?
Well, we tried to climb over there, too. I put my left tire up on the top, and usually I put my left tire up on the top, and I'm going to sit there and think for about 5 minutes, and the tires get hot enough and get back down the street. You don't want to that way. And I was like, ah, well, I'll put you.
I joined the Air Force July '62, went through Aviation Cadet, which is combined officer flight training, and in August '63 was assigned Travis Air Force Base, where I flew transports, C-124s, 130s, 141s to Southeast Asia. I flew into Tan Son Nhut, Van Hoa, Quy Nhon, Da Nang, Cam Ranh Bay over a 6-year period from December '63 to June '69. 54 combat support missions, which was sufficient to earn me the Air Medal that I was awarded in '69. 6,100 hours of flying time.
Wow. I'm Robert Foster. Served 10.5 years in the U.S. Army. Retired now. Was a Bradley mechanic working on the tanks. I've done 2 tours in Iraq, a single tour in Afghanistan. Just out here supporting Rich Klein and his Hero for a Day event, showing the veterans what we do and what I love to do and what keeps me going every day.
Hey Paul, what do you think of that?
I thought that was awesome. I would do that again any day. Any day.
Good job, Nate.
disabled veteran, as got me for PTSD, and I'm really happy that you guys are doing this, and it's a great opportunity for us to come out here and meet new friends and be out here with you guys.